But the big news last week, before the BYU-Utah game, is the hiring of the new offensive coordinator at BYU. His name is Jeff Grimes. He now joins us on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline. I assume from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Is that right, Jeff?
That is right. Right, straight out of a meeting, game planning for Notre Dame, and ready to talk to you guys. Excited about it.
Well, it's great to have you on the program. You were in town for your press conference. Now you're back. But the real hard-hitting question we want to start with was, when did and how hard was it when you had to shave your goatee?
I'm still getting used to it. I just find myself rubbing my chin all the time and feeling like I'm touching another person. That actually happened probably a day earlier than I should have, because everybody's kind of looking at me sideways. Okay, you took that job, I'm guessing. So people around here hadn't seen me without facial hair in a while.
That was the indicator, right? You shaved, so you're probably taking that job.
Yeah, I think so.
So what have the past few days been like since your hire was made official?
Man, it's been crazy. It's just round-the-clock activity, little sleep, lots of things going on. Obviously, when you're trying to do two things at once, and I want to finish the job here and do things the right way at LSU. I've had 4 great years here, and as I said in my press conference, I have a lot of respect for Ed Orgeron and the way that everybody here has treated me at LSU. I love my guys here, and so I'm trying to do that the right way. And at the same time, obviously, my mind is already kind of moving on to things there in Provo, and excited about everything that's going to be happening there really soon, and trying to begin to work on a number of things, including talking to recruits and current players and all sorts of things.
Yeah, in 2 days, there's the first of 3 days for the signing day, so BYU's certainly busy out on the recruiting trail. You've been to a lot of awesome places post-BYU. Why return to BYU, a place where this is your first repeat stop, I think, right?
It really is, yeah. And I was telling a bunch of guys that I saw over the weekend how cool it was to come back to a place where you know a lot of people. And as y'all both know, LSU and Auburn and Virginia Tech and all these other places I've been, if you go back there, you're not all that likely to have the same people there. This is kind of like coming back home, because so many people have stayed at BYU for a number of years. And so it's kind of cool, kind of like a homecoming. And I really enjoyed that part of it, coming back and seeing a lot of people this weekend, and really looking forward to working with a lot of familiar faces and guys that I already know and trust.
Well, speaking of guys that you know and trust, what did it mean to you to have so many former BYU players and coaches pushing for you to get this job?
That meant the world to me. I mean, there were a bunch of things that came out, and a lot of people that recommended me for the job. But the former players who were really outspoken in terms of texting me, and as I found out later on, publicly and privately recommending me for the job, that probably meant more to me than anything, because it's those relationships that are the things that life really should be all about.
The new offensive coordinator for BYU, Jeff Grimes, is on BYU Sports Nation. The last couple of weeks, Spencer and I made a list of candidates, and we made a top 5. We did not have you in that because we did not think it was realistic for BYU to get you.
So shame on you to start with.
So how did BYU get you?
They just asked.
Sometimes you just have to ask, right, Coach?
They asked nicely. No, it was a combination of things. It really was. It was, as I said before, it was a combination of the right timing for my family, the right timing for me professionally, and the right timing for BYU. I really feel like all of those things came together at once and made it the right opportunity for me this year, and I think and hope it'll be the right opportunity for BYU as well.
Obviously, one of the things that you mentioned is you want to put together the best staff BYU's ever had. So how, and I know that you have the Citrus Bowl coming up, what is your plan in terms of when you start doing some of that, in terms of putting your staff together? What is that? I know you said there's not a timeline, but how do you envision that part happening?
Well, it's a great question, and it is obviously more challenging with me being here. However, with modern technology, it makes a lot of those things a whole lot easier than it used to be. So there will be a number of conversations that are had over the coming weeks with myself and Coach Satake and a number of other guys, and we'll just see where it goes. And as I said, sooner is better than later, but the most important thing is to get the right guys here.
Jeff Grimes is on BYU Sports Nation. A lot of fans are wondering, what kind of offense do you plan on running at BYU?
Will be an exciting offense that combines the best elements of a number of different systems. As you said earlier, I've been a lot of places and been blessed to be around some of the best offensive minds in the country. I mean, I think what we're doing here with Matt Canada and what he's done over the past couple of years is really, really exciting and sort of cutting-edge stuff that not a lot of other people are doing. Being around some of the other guys that I've worked for, Malzahn and Cutter and a lot of guys, I've just learned a lot all along the way. And so I think it'll be a matter of combining all of those things and kind of doing the best of all. And then I think it's important to have enough flexibility within the system so that you can take advantage in any given year of the assets that you have. And, certainly BYU is going to attract a certain type of kid, so there's going to be some constancy in the type of player that you're going to have. But from year to year, you might have a little bit different type of quarterback or type of running back or offensive line. And so whether, if you're running a wide zone play, you could do that under center, in the pistol, in the offset gun. You could do it from 11, 12, or 13 personnel, and it's still a wide zone play. Which of those you choose to do has to do with the personnel and the way you want to present the play. And so there will be a lot of those different types of elements and the flexibility to do it differently from year to year and even week to week. The presentation of the offense will change, but the core plays and the fundamentals will remain the same.
Jeff, I ask you this question not knowing how much time, if any, because of everything else you have going on, that you've actually had to look at the BYU offense or personnel. But how far do you think this offense is from actually turning things around?
Yeah, I can't really answer that question accurately. I mean, all I can say is what I believe to be the case based on what I've been told from a number of other people that I do trust. And from that vantage point, I feel like we have certainly some talent in some positions, probably more so than others. But it's unfair for me to answer that question right now. I'd really rather have a little time to kind of get to know the guys and watch a little bit more film and watch them work out this spring, and then I can answer the question in a more educated fashion.
And let's finish with this, Jeff. Is there a possibility of retaining anybody from the offensive staff? Is that something you'll look at and consider?
Sure, absolutely. All those guys will have the opportunity. And like I said, the most important thing is to get the very best guys possible on our staff, and it'll be a combination of a number of different things that we're looking at. But I think everyone will be really pleased with the staff that we put together.
Well, Jeff, we appreciate the time. I know a lot of BYU fans will be watching the offensive line of LSU on New Year's Day with particular interest.
Okay, so now I need to get back to work. That's what you're telling me.
That's right. It's time to get back to work, and then we'll see you in January here. We appreciate it, Jeff.
Okay, sounds great. Good talking to y'all.
Thank you. That's Jeff Grimes on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, your values, your timeline, your financial future.